You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Jumping Knee Pod, a modern-day All Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Jessica, and today with me for the first time is Milo. So,
Hi. Hello.
tell us about your All Japan journey, like when you started watching, who's your favorite wrestler, just all stuff like that.
So I got into wrestling as a whole in like 2015-ish, and watching like more Japanese wrestling in 2016. So that would be when I started watching All Japan, which was a time. Back then, I do have to say I was a huge fan of Zeus, even though I don't think he was even signed at that point, but he was definitely my favorite. Just always loved the big man. And then I like took a break from wrestling in general from like 2020 to 2023, so just got back into it last year. And I guess now my favorite, probably to anyone who knows me, this will come as no surprise, is Yuki Honda. Just obsessed with his chaos gremlin energy. A friend of mine said he's like a human Labubu, and I can't get the image out of my head now. Just obsessed with him. And Dan Tamura is like has a big place in my heart now. So yeah, that's All Japan. It was not one of the main promotions I watched back in the day, but now it definitely is. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm way higher on the new generation than a lot of people are. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. The only opinion that matters to me is my own, so.
It's a good way of thinking. I feel like I'm such a baby with all my guests. Like everyone started watching way before. I'm like started watching end of 2019. I'm like so young when it comes to All Japan.
Oh man, I can't imagine like getting into any promotion like right before COVID.
Oh yeah.
During such a strange time. It doesn't matter how long you've loved it, it's how much you love it.
Yes, true. And like your friend talking about Honda like Labubu, that is just 100% on the money.
It is genuinely one of the most accurate things I've ever heard, and I cannot look at him anymore without seeing one of those dumb little things. I think the shark teeth really just pull it all together.
He's so true. I can't get it out of my head. I just call him a gremlin, but yeah, Labubu is definitely the correct word.
The Honda Boo Boo agenda is fully launched at this point.
So we're going to get into the wrestling shortly, but before we start, we do have to mention the horrible accident that Taishi Nagao was in. So he was pulled from day one. All Japan just said it was an injury, but a couple of days later, they released a statement saying he was in hospital because he was hit by a bus, and that turned out to be the All Japan tour bus. Like, it's actually devastating to hear this news, and it was just shocking to read it, honestly. Hopefully, I can speak for you, but we all wish like Taishin the best, and hopefully one day soon we'll see him in a ring again, because like he is sorely missed by not only the fans but by the wrestlers. You can see how much he's affected the wrestlers as well.
Yeah, it's just like I can't even wrap my head around how horrific of an accident it is. Like, it doesn't even feel like it should be real.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it is, and yeah, it's very clear that he's dearly, dearly missed. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about him when we get to the last show of the month. But yeah, just keeping fingers crossed for him that everything will be, as okay as it can be. It's just really, really shocking and really sad. When he just got his first victory as well. Yeah.
He has been on like such a roll, like even though he still is a rookie, just the support and love everybody had for him as soon as he steps foot in a ring is just so heartwarming, and I just love it so much. So just we miss him so much, and we just fingers crossed he makes it back one day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Praying
Yeah.
for the little guy.
Mm. So with that out of the way, we'll talk about Taishin more, like you said before, but we got to start with day one. We had Hideki Suzuki defeated Takashi. That was supposed to be Taishin's spot. So he won in 11 minutes and 48 seconds. David Boy Smith Jr. and Kuroshio Tokyo Japan defeated Azawa No. 1 and Jack Kennedy in 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Asuka Yagi, Fumino Abe, and Seigo Tachibana defeated Rising Hayato, Musashi, and Rii Inoue in 12 minutes and 26 seconds. Hokuto Amore, Kuma Arashi, and Talos defeated Yuma Anzai, Riki Honda, and Ren Yabe in 15 minutes and 24 seconds. In the junior heavyweight title match, Seki Yoshioka defeated Dan Tamura in 15 minutes and 37 seconds. In the World Tag Team title match, Kenta Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi defeated Shotaro Ishino and Zion in 21 minutes and 52 seconds. And in the Triple Crown title match, Jun Saito defeated Rei Saito in 23 minutes and 7 seconds. So I'm just going to start off where I started watching this show. It was halfway through the Alpida versus Hokuto Amore, like Army. So Hokuto had a mystery guest. He was like XXL to counter Ranayabe's height. So he was a surprise new member. So when I turned on the stream, Talos like had his back to the camera. I'm thinking, holy crap, they got Lance Archer. Like, wow, he's back in Japan.
Oh my God, finally a good member of Suzuki-gun in All Japan.
Yeah. It wasn't, unfortunately. He turned around. I'm like, who is this? I have no idea who this is. So it turned out to be Talos. And this is where, like, I asked Milo before the stream, do you know anything about video games? And this is where, like, my first video game reference comes in. So have you heard of Skyrim?
Yes, I have heard of. I've never played it, but I have heard a lot about it. Yeah.
Like this game has like infected my brain ever since it came out. I'm just gonna read it straight from the wiki. So Talos, also known as Tiber Septim, Ysmir, Dragonborn, and the heir to the seat of Sundred Kings, is the most important hero god of mankind. So he's a pretty big deal in the game, and like every time I hear Talos, because he's been there the whole month, I'm just like, damn, I really want to play Skyrim. I want to think about it. I just want to do anything but watch a Sky Wrestle. It's like to do with Skyrim.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if you were to ask Hokuto right now, he would probably tell you that Talos is the most important hero of mankind. So that does make sense to me. But yeah, no, it was really funny. I don't know what was funnier was Talos's introduction as like this massive, massive man, or the absolute existential crisis that it sent Ayabe into for the rest of the month. Loved it. Loved it.
All like Ren had going was like, he's the tallest guy. Like nobody could take that from him. That was his thing. And now he's just like, no. It's like when he debuted against Tsuji Ishikawa. And Tsuji had that crisis, like, I'm not the tallest guy anymore. This guy is. So to me, Talos is just another big foreigner who I don't really care for because we go through foreigners so quickly. Like they just come, do a tour, disappear. A new one comes, does a tour, disappear. Like I don't know.
The only
like,
disappear is still here.
Yeah, the one we want to go is still here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to be 100% honest, I just wish they brought someone who's already wrestled here before. Like I've seen a lot of posts actually come up on my feed from Lord Crew saying he really misses All Japan and he wants it back. Like I know he was learning Japanese at one stage. So like I know he's not as tall as Ayabe, but like who cares? Just bring him back.
Yeah, I think they just really wanted like the novelty of this like really, really massive, huge man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there are plans for him to like stay longer, who knows? But yeah, definitely it's just another new guy to kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he already had a title match this month, and next month he has another one. So it's just like they're kind of pushing him hard, and I just don't care.
Clearly, they like him.
Yeah.
To be fair, I really don't mind him for the simple reason that I will take any foreigner that isn't that guy
Hmm.
um, any day of the month. And at least Hokuto seems to really like him and be having a blast hanging out with him. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, not necessarily the person that I'm always looking forward to seeing in the ring, but inoffensive, I think, is the word I would use.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to a match I actually really loved. It's the World Tag Team title match. This was a match I was
Ooh.
really looking forward to most of the show. I adore the Ashino Zion team. I know a lot of people don't, but like this team for me is just like I love them so much. They came out with face paint and like, they got their Havoc t-shirts on. I love it so much. They have cool
I
double
just
team moves, and I like how Ashino matches Zion's intensity and fire because Zion is just like all like serious all the time, and Ashino is just like, yeah, I'll be that serious too.
I think
For
it's
business
just
tag, we know how
really
good of a tag team they are. You can put them
mm,
out in any tag team title match with any other team, they can steal the show. We know how good of a wrestler in tags and singles Ashino is. So Zion was really the odd man out. But let me explain. I'm not saying he was a bad wrestler at all. We're still learning about him with what he can do and what he brings to the title match. And it was fun finding that out because I thought he was great here. Like, of course, having three excellent wrestlers in the ring helps a lot, but he held his own. He looked good. I enjoyed his performance a lot. And like the tag team of Havoc is sticking around and they're not done yet. And I just really want them to have gold in their future. I'm just so like behind them with everything they do.
I absolutely agree. I just really love how happy they are to be together. Like it's like they finally found someone to match their particular brand of crazy, and I love it. Like I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to Korakuen, but like when they came out with the fucking smoke effects, you know that they were so geeked to have like figured that out and decided it. And I love their dynamic. I love how happy they look to be teaming up together. I love that it gives Ashino something to do.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think they work really well together. Zion, honestly, I've been really liking in All Japan. I think he brings something really interesting in the way of like being. Obviously, he's really big. He's really powerful. He's not the most maybe technically proficient, but everything he does looks like it hurts real bad,
Mm.
which I appreciate because that's also Ashino. Like everything Ashino does looks like it hurts real bad. And yeah, they work really well together. And they're just so happy.
Yeah.
They're just so happy. It's beautiful. It's like when two frat boys meet each other and just like
Yeah.
find perfect synergy. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think obviously Kento and Yuma, we know how good they are. We know the work that they can do together. Always appreciate seeing them together. I hope they keep the titles for
Mm.
a little bit longer, but I don't know. Again, logistics. I have things to say about logistics, but I don't know. I really appreciate their team. And yeah, I really did like that match as well. Definitely my favorite of their two defenses for this month.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking what was the other defense? Yeah, yeah. I get it. Yeah. The junior title match is up next, and I know you really want to talk about it. Do you want to start it, or do you want me to start it off?
Go, 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 go. I just collect myself.
So, first off, Dan with the slick back hair, facial hair and robe, like 10 out of 10. No notes with that. It's unfair how good the juniors are and just how much they've been left to the side this year
Mm.
with Musashi and Seki, and now this match following. It's just like, why did All Japan keep them in the dark? They need the spotlight so much. I'm really hoping it's not because Asuki was injured and now he's back. They're like, okay, we're confident pushing the juniors now. Yeah, that's just my little rant about that. But this match was wonderful. Dan was brutal here, which exactly what I wanted from him. And Seki was his amazing self. It's funny with Dan
Mm.
because he looks like the sweetest person we're doing live streams and stuff. But in the ring, he'll just take your head off and not even look back to see if you're dead. He's like, I don't care. I love watching Dan power through Seki's kicks at the end. I think it took like three or four to actually get him down. He was just screaming in his face, like, give me more, like I can take it. That's the wrestling I love. I love it so much. For Seki, this was a really, really good first defense. Get one under his belt. I really liked him when I was watching Noah. He was like one of my favorites in Noah. So I'm glad he's moved on to All Japan and he's champion so I could see him more.
Mm. Yeah, no, this was incredible. I think just, oh my goodness, everything about it. Dan just when I got back into wrestling and back into All Japan, Dan was like one of the first people immediately catch my eye because I love a no nonsense, no bullshit, I'm gonna fucking kill you wrestler. And I think that's exactly what he is. And this match specifically really showed like how much he wants this,
Mm.
like really, really badly. Obviously, he comes out looking amazing, so handsome in his robe and like this, like you said, the slick back hair, just like feeling like a real big shot. And like the single strip of blue wrist tape also had me
Oh,
like
yes, yes.
highly emotional, obviously. But I think what I like the most is, Seiki spends basically the entire match targeting Dan's arm. Like disable the lariats, disable like the power bomb, because that's his most effective weapons. And Dan will just not give up. There's a moment in the match where he's like punching his own arm to like will it to take him to victory. And I don't know, I love any wrestler who's like determined to the point of insanity and just like bellowing at everything Seiki does, just like daring him to hit harder and harder and harder. And I love that it like forced Seiki to have a completely different match that he did with Musashi. And actually, Seiki's had like two defenses plus the title, the match where he won the title, and all three were very different. I love how adaptable he is. He's definitely one of the most versatile juniors on the Japanese scene right now, and I'm, like you said, very, very, very happy that he gets to do and be that in All Japan. So sorry, in All Japan, because I think the junior division has a lot of interesting depth right now that hopefully we'll get to really see during the junior league. And I think Seiki is the perfect person to go into the junior league as champion because he's really going to bring out the best out of everyone. And I think that obviously Dan did an incredible job, like with himself, but I think Seiki really helped bring out the best out of him. And I would love to see like a rematch down the line, something to like really push Dan over the edge. I have some thoughts about Dan still being a junior. Like, there's moments where I don't really understand it, but it seems like it's really what he wants to be right now. So I'll just let him do what he wants because I think he's doing incredible. But yeah, he seemed like he was carrying a lot of pressure on his shoulders for that match, and it really translated into his determination. And I just could not stop thinking about it for days and days on end, just how much of a gem he is. Love that little Dan. Love him.
I think when it comes to Dan being a junior, I'm okay with him moving to heavyweight, but not right now. I think the junior title scene, not just the title scene, like the whole division needs him
Yeah.
until like, people like Inoue and Peishi when he comes back, they really grow into who they are. And then Dan, you can move on to heavyweight. Like that's when you're okay to move on.
But I think it's also interesting to still have him in that division with all these guys who are more, sharp and like either really flippy or really kicky. And then you have Dan who will just, like you said, murder you.
Yeah.
He provides good balance, I think. But I definitely think that whenever the division is ready and whenever he's ready, he's going to make a killing as a heavyweight. He had probably my favorite performance in the Odo tournament last year as like the sort of junior representatives, just bangers against both Ashino and Honda, who are guys who really, really match his energy and his style. And so if he gets to do that on a more regular basis, I'm definitely okay with it.
I think it was maybe the year before, or maybe even the year before that, when he was in the Royal Road tournament and he went against Suji. And that was a great match they had. I remember just Suji lawn darting down into the ring post, but like the match was really good. He's just been great for years and years and years. And I'm glad more people are seeing it now just because like he comes out in black trunks and he's just kind of generic looking. But when he starts wrestling, you're like, holy shit, this guy's great.
but I really like it. That's one of my favorite things about Dan is that he's in a promotion and in a division with such like colorful individuals,
Mm.
like the likes of especially like Atsuki or Hayato. And he's very simple, stripped down. He looks like he like walked straight out of the 80s or 90s. But that's what makes him stand out.
Mm.
Like he doesn't. It's not that these guys overly rely on like their gimmicks or their costumes or anything, because they're great wrestlers as well. But Dan is just different. Like he's built different.
Mm.
I love it. Of many emotions.
When he won the junior title bout, I was like on the verge of tears. Like I was literally about jumping out of my seat when he went to do the 3 count, because like you knew he was getting that 3 count. You like everyone just had that feeling like, yes, this is when he wins. So I loved being on this journey from Jan. Like I've seen him like ever since he had that mohawk, the red mohawk he used to have. And then he had the
Listen,
blonde, and now he's just like straight up black, slick back hair, facial
yeah,
hair, like just it's great. It's great to see
he,
his journey.
yes, he's grown a lot, and I think he's really growing into the person that he not only is meant to be, but that I think he really wants to be,
Mm.
and it's great to see. Absolutely, we love that boy.
Okay, so the Triple Crown title match. I thought it was very fun, pretty good, but not June's best, and we'll talk about that more later in the episode. It really was what you expected from these two guys, like big strikes, yelling from Ray, hair loosening from June and like flicking it around, crowd brawling, towels, being brought out, wiping their face. There was a moment near the end where Ray hit his barbecue bomb. I was like, holy shit, like Ray, he's gonna win, like 100%. He's become the new Triple Crown champion. Like my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, he's got this. He didn't,
Mhm.
obviously, like June kicks out. For me, it was a little slow paced. I feel like they could have kicked it up another gear, but it was still good. Like, one thing I do want to point out with his brothers is All Japan could not have sold this show as well as they did, or in this venue, if it wasn't for these two. These two are
Mhm.
the main event, like every single time they come back to their hometown. I know people don't like it, but too bad. It's the truth. It's just what it is.
And honestly, if I know that I've been snarky about this before, but I just have to be snarky about it again. It boggles the mind to see people acting like the Saito brothers are the worst things to happen to All Japan in like the past decade, when you remember who the Triple Crown champion was just 6 months ago. Can we be for real for 1 second?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm for the slow paced thing. Honestly, it's kind of what I expected from them. Like these are, first of all, huge guys,
Mm,
huge, and they always seem to work a little bit of a slower, more like not really plotting, but they're not gonna go as fast as like a Miyahara or an
no,
Anzai,
yeah.
just because they have to like really lay in those bombs that they're throwing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Not, I agree with you that it wasn't June's strongest, but it was definitely the match that they had been building to
Mm,
all this time, and it needed to happen, and it needed to happen in that place. Um, and I think it achieved what it needed to achieve. And like, I don't know if they're gonna like turn the page on the Saito chapter, like the really prominent Saito chapter, because they're still gonna stick around, obviously, and we thank them for that. Um, but now that it's happened, I'm curious what happens next, because I was very shocked at the result of the next title defense,
mm, yeah.
which I definitely did not expect. I thought that would kind of be like the culmination of everything that Jin did as the Triple Crown champion. But yeah, I like it. Honestly, I've always been more of a Ray person than a Jun. Like I like both of them, but I like Ray a little bit more. I don't know if he would have been as ready for the Triple Crown. I feel like Jun is always kind of been like the more like crowd pleasing, charismatic, and Ray is like the. It's weird to call Ray the like scrappy underdog because he's huge, but he has always kind of felt like that, being the younger by however many minutes of the two. And I think it's it's acceptable that he would lose this. I think, he won the Champion Carnival. June wins this title match, and we kind of come full circle on the Saitos, which I think it achieved what it set out to achieve. It did obviously great business for All Japan, which if you've been an All Japan watcher for the past, however, like I said, I got into All Japan in 2016, so honestly, anything that draws great houses for them is an okay for me. Because we've been in the trenches. And yeah, I don't know. I think people are misunderstanding the point of the Saitos. Like being like, oh, what happened to my company? First of all, it's not your company. And second, would you rather they go back to like having no audience? So yeah, that's off my soapbox for now, but yeah.
No, I love it. Like, if you want to go more, please do, because it just frustrates me so much to see how much people hate these two. I'm just like, really? Like, I know they're not for everybody. Like, not like they're popular wrestlers I don't like, but I'm not gonna get on, online and say like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, whoever is rolling in their grave, the company's doomed.
Yeah.
These two are so popular in not just All Japan, but in Japan, and All Japan is marketed towards the Japanese fans. It's not marketed towards the Western fans. I wish it was a little bit more, because that's when Ishino will get pushed. But that's who they're marketed for. And the Saito brothers sell out every single time. I've seen grown adults like run to the merch stand to get merch just so they can line up for a June signing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm like, just getting out of here. Like, that's okay. Like, honestly, you don't like them, that's fine. But too bad. They're in the main event now, and they're not going to be, pushed out anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, so first of all, like you said, All Japan is very focused on their domestic market, as I think they really should be after the decade that they've kind of had, where it's been very, up and down, up and down, up and down, not much stability in that regard. So now that they found something that gives them that stability, I think it's very smart that they continue to capitalize on it. For me, from my personal view as a fan, I'm not someone who really cares about like ticket sales or drawing or whatever, because the money's not going into my pocket, so whatever. But you have to also understand as a fan that if you want a company to be able to not just survive but thrive, you're going to have to make these kinds of decisions. And honestly, there are way worse guys that they could be making this decision than the Saito brothers. They're well beloved. They're ready to do basically any kind of like publicity, TV appearances, like variety stuff, and they're good at it as well. And so even though they're not my personal favorites, I like them, they're just not my favorites. It's so completely understandable that they're so much in the spotlight, and it's crazy that there are people who are so obtuse that they don't understand, like that they refuse to see that this is good for All Japan as a whole. Because like, yeah, people are going to come to the show, maybe see the Saito brothers, and then maybe also leave with like another favorite. And that's how you keep building. And again, they're most definitely not the worst thing to happen to All Japan. Can we please be serious? So yeah, that's all.
Like, two things I just want to quickly point out is on the last episode, Simone went really into like why they're in this position, and he had some really, really good points. So please go back and listen to that. And when I went to Japan this year, I went with my sister who watched New Japan with me, who watched Noah, who watched AJPW, but never watched All Japan with me. She went to a show like straight away. Her favorite was June. She has like a June towel with her now. Like, it's her favorite. So yeah, it works. And saying all this, June defeated his younger brother. He won the meeting between the two. He won actually the first meeting between the two. And so far, this is the last meeting. So older siblings rejoice, I guess.
We needed a win.
Yes. So I want to move on to day 2. Shota Ishino and Zion defeated Hiroki Murasai and Lowther in 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Tamura defeated Seigo Tachibana in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Funori Abe defeated Rii Inoue in 9 minutes and 12 seconds. In the 6-man tag team title match, Hokuto Morai, Kuma Arashi, and Takashi defeated Azawa No. 1, Jack Kennedy, and Talos in 14 minutes and 24 seconds. Yuma Anzai, Riki Honda, Rene Abe, and Rising Hayato defeated Kento Miyahara, Asuka Yagi, Masashi, and David Boy Smith Jr. in 16 minutes and 45 seconds. And in the main event, Jun Saito, Rei Saito, and Naruki Doi defeated Yuma Oyagi, Hideki Suzuki, and Seki Yoshioka in 16 minutes and 42 seconds. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Milo. Where do you want to start off?
I want to start off by saying it was Dan's birthday. It was
Happy birthday, Dan.
Yes, it was Dan's birthday, June 14th. The fans had a really cute, like, little signboard project where it said, like, Dan, happy birthday. It was very cute. Loved it. And I also love that he got to celebrate his birthday by doing what I think he's one of the things that he's best at, which is beating up Seigo Tachibana.
100%, yes.
Yes, these two, I mean, there was first, I'm just going to talk about Dan, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Because these two last year had a really, really great Gawara TV title match,
Yes.
which Tachibana won. Yes. I really love Tachibana with the TV title. I think he had some really, really great matches, and I think that one was probably the best. Yeah, these two have great chemistry. I think Tachibana is like a deceptively hard hitter, which you wouldn't necessarily guess by just like looking at him and how kind of goofy he looks. Compliments. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, these two have great chemistry. Dan was looking great on his birthday, not at all like down from his loss. Well, I mean, it was already 2 weeks prior to that. And yeah, did great. Killed him with a nasty powerbomb, which you love to see. The lighting in that venue was really weird, so it was kind of hard to see some stuff. And I remember fan photographers that I follow on Twitter were also complaining about that. So Dan with the W on his birthday over a guy that he has great chemistry with. What more could you possibly want?
True. He and Seigo Tachibana worked really well together. I think, yeah, it was like my junior match of the year last year, these two. The Garo TV title match. I think it's still on YouTube. Just check it out on All Japan's channel if it is. Please, please, please watch it. You won't regret it at all. Fumino Abe and Rie Inoue work really well together as well. Like for a while now, Inoue was like strictly working with Abe for like a couple months and like Takuya Nomura every time he came in. So they work well together. I just please get rid of that stupid walk. I hate it so much. Like I just can't stand it. I gotta like, skip 10 seconds when he does that.
I agree. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of like any wrestler that young already jacking stuff from like people who are way more famous than them. But especially that specific person, like, please.
Yeah.
Please. We can do so much better. It's annoying because other than that, I really like Inoue. I think his like whole act as this like shitty little overconfident striker just suits him really, really well.
Yeah.
I think he's really like laying everything in, doing really great in ring. It's so close to perfect, except for the walk.
Yeah. I don't know why he brought it in. It doesn't fit his character. He just needs like take something from Doi, yeah? You just pose to the crowd and just start yelling shit and downplaying your opponent or something. I don't know. Just this walk has to go.
I think he just wanted to like come up with some kind of taunt, but again, you can do so much better. Please elevate yourself, rise above. Abe is just someone I'm always happy to see.
Oh yeah,
wherever he goes, like, it's just a very reliable, dependable guy.
100% agree. With this venue, it's had some really good tag matches like throughout the years. The thing is, with venues like this, they usually don't have commentary, and Kento is usually in a tag match, and this is when he's like at his most chaotic and like yelling and shouting and swearing up a storm. And I saw like, okay, like El Peter, like, Anzai, Honda, Ren, and Hayato versus Kento, yep, Asuki, yep, Musashi, yep, oh, the fourth one, David Boy. I'm like, I don't want to watch it like tag match anymore.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I was like watching the shows this month, I kept his matches for like the very end. I was like, I'm only watching these basically out of like my own completionist obsession, but I really wish I wasn't. Like, I don't want to be here. Mom, please come pick me up.
A lot of people like don't like the comedy in All Japan and they want it to be more serious. Well, he's your serious wrestler. He's so serious, he's so boring. Just watch him and leave like comedy like Yuma Aoyagi and the Hokuto Army to us. Go have fun with him.
Honestly, like, even putting aside the fact that he seems like an absolutely wretched human being, he is one of the most boring wrestlers I have ever had the displeasure of watching. Like, he could be the nicest guy on earth. It would still not change the fact that he is like genuinely impossible to watch without like just wanting to pick up your phone and play a game.
Mm-hmm.
The things that I put myself through for you, Ryuki Honda, should be studied. Because, oh my gosh, I have fears about what's going to happen next month. Real fears. But yeah, you know, at least Hayato was there. Always love looking at Hayato. But yeah, no, it's just... And also, Kento likes him so much, and it just makes me question everything.
Yeah, but you have
Like,
to remember Kento's hero was like Hulk Hogan, so he's a bit questionable.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, the last thing about day two is that the six-man tag team title match, I think, will go down in history for ending with an actual successful Hokuto special. Aizawa #1, we thank you for your service. You beautiful, beautiful man.
So I don't know, day two, it just really wasn't for me. It was kind of the um not the worst. I don't really want to say worst because it wasn't bad, but like I don't know. I can't think of another word right now. The worst show of the whole month. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it was a house show.
The weakest show, I should say.
Yeah. It really did kind of feel like a house show.
Yeah.
Like one of those that you could not watch, except for Dan and Sato. You should definitely watch that.
Yes. So let's just go to day three. Fulminor Abe and Seigo Tachibana defeated Ryu Inoue and Dan Tamura in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Ronnie Abe and Ricky Honda defeated Shotaro Ujino and Zion in 11 minutes and 1 second. Hokuto Omare, Kuma Arashi, and Talos defeated Kento Miyahara, Musashi, and Dave Boy Smith Jr. in 13 minutes and 17 seconds. In the Goro TV title match, Takashi defeated Yuko Miyamoto in 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Hideki Suzuki, Karu Sato, and Seki Yoshioka defeated Jun Saito, Rei Saito, and Naruki Doi in 15 minutes and 34 seconds. And in the All Asia Tag Team title match, Yuma Aoyagi and Asuka Aoyagi defeated Yuma Anzai and Rising Haito in 26 minutes and 2 seconds to become the new champions. So before we get to that, I'm just going to say I love a good junior opening tag, and this was no exception. Like, they combined the two single matches from the day before into one tag match, and that was so much fun. I will
It was
always,
great.
like, just the thing is, I had the same note for this. I will always love Inoue, but just get rid of the walk. It doesn't suit him, it looks stupid. But apart from that, it was under 10 minutes of just good junior action. Like, what else can you want from a tag match?
Yeah. Inoue and Dan, just a great team, I think. They're not necessarily on like the same level in terms of like psychology or character, but they are on the same level in terms of wanting to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great thing for a tag team to have. They're kind of like Junior Havoc, if you really think about it. But yeah, no, I really like them together. I like Abe, I like Tachibana. It's just a great collection of dudes. They didn't waste any of the time they were given. What more could you possibly want? It's just the juniors have honestly kind of been stealing the entire promotion for me this year. So yeah, great fun. Loved it.
One thing I really didn't like about this show is the Goro TV title results. I thought Miyamoto was a great champion. Like, I want to watch him wrestle. With Takashi,
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch him wrestle. Like, I watch none of his Champion Carnival matches. I'm just like, there's so many matches. I got to leave people out. Takashi is an easy guy to push to the side. Like, Miyamoto was having great matches. Like, every title match he had was great. And just like, why take it off him now and give it to this guy?
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with you. I really like Miyamoto. I think no offense, but I think obviously a better wrestler than Takashi. Here's the thing. So I'm a lifelong. I've been a fan of Dragon Gate for a decade. And it is incredibly funny to me that Takashi is getting a bigger push in like 4 months in All Japan than he has probably ever gotten in his home promotion. Like, he's been in like a couple prominent storylines, but the thing is that some of those storylines were about him literally forgetting how to wrestle and having to learn all over again.
my God.
So he's definitely an interesting guy, and I think watching him with like I don't know if you watch Dragon Gate at all.
I used to, and yeah.
But yeah, but having the context of that is just incredibly funny and honestly kind of puzzling how much, like, not that he's not a likable guy, because he like, wrestling aside, should be saying that, but like, wrestling aside, he is a likable guy. I'm sure he's like well liked backstage. He made all of those truly terrible songs for Hokuto-gun. Like, I love him, but they're really bad. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really. He was so happy though.
I love
He
him
was so
jumping for
happy.
joy. It's really cute.
The title will be defended on Dragon Gate's biggest show of the year in 2 weeks. In like a 5-way. I think it's like him versus Doi versus KZ versus Mochizuki versus I can't remember the fifth person.
Somebody else.
But it will be defended. So that's that, at least, I guess.
Yeah, it's good. It's not just going to be like an accessory like it was a couple years ago. I can see him like, getting a little like cheap victory in that 5-way match, just like sneaking in at the end, throwing someone off and covering the other guy.
I think that's most likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see a title. Honestly, I would like to see a title change with any of those guys. I think it would be fun to see them in All Japan for a little bit. I need to free KZ from his Dragon Gate booking right now. But yeah, I think Takashi's walking in and out as champion.
So I'm going to move on to the All Asia title match and just quickly get the negative stuff out of the way. I wish Anzai and Haito held titles for just a bit longer and dropped it to Ayame and Honda. But done with that. At the time I'm writing, Yuma is once again a Triple Crown champion with the tag belts. I've always wanted the Ayakis to hold the belts in All Japan. I know they have once before, but that was like in the Tenryu project, so they've been tag champions there. I really enjoyed this one. I think Haito and Asuki are on their way to becoming like wrestling soulmates. And the two Yumas just keep improving and growing their chemistry when they get in the ring together. And once again, they let the juniors shine for the second half of the match. I really like that they have been doing that, and I hope now Asuki has the belt that continue that, because I love when juniors get the shine. Like, we've been talking about it like the whole tour. Like, yeah, the juniors are great. I really have to give it to Anzai and Haito. They were really, really good champions. They put on amazing matches. I honestly recommend going back to any of their defenses and watching it, because they've just been great. My favorite of their reign was definitely them versus Kento and Inoue from New Year's Eve show. But like, huge props to them, because they honestly do deserve it. It's going to be interesting now to see what happens with this team. I wrote this before, like, the next show where they break up. Like, I just have so many thoughts about like what's going to happen, which like now it doesn't matter.
So yeah, I've been trying to formulate this in my head for like 4 days, but because Anzai is like going off to do, I don't even know what he's up to be doing. I don't know. Honestly, like, I'm a K-pop fan, and I've watched so many idols that I like catch what we call actor disease, where they like start acting in dramas and like before long they're leaving their groups and just going full actor. I am hoping that's not what's happening here. Please, God. No. Like, you can go do one movie, one drama, whatever, but you better get your ass back in there ASAP. But yeah, what I was trying to say is that I think this, even though the match was great, I will talk about the match, but the decision felt almost a little rushed and almost like they didn't know what Anzai was going to do up until like maybe like a couple weeks before. And they were just like, well, got to do something now, because both them losing these titles and LPDOT disbanding like 3 days later. When I think it was on this show or the previous show in the backstage segment, Honda was like, LPDOT is the best unit in all Japan, blah blah blah, and like 3 days later they're disbanding it. But I think that they lost these titles and LPDOT disbanded because Yuma was like going off to do whatever he's off to do. Like I don't think that it would have happened if he wasn't, because it didn't feel like something that was necessarily really carefully thought through. But the match itself was great. I don't I mean, this is just kind of me. I don't usually care for like extended segments on the outside. Although I will say it allowed me to see parts of KBS Hall that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Thank you, Yuma Aoyagi, for the tour. I really, again, enjoyed that the juniors were getting all the spotlights. I think it was the right call to have them be involved in the finish going into the junior league. Hayato really took some fucking beatings during this reign. Like it very much, except for like the first couple of weeks where they defended against Kento and Inoue, where it kind of felt like the focus was more on Anzai and Inoue's little rivalry. I think the rest of the reign was very much about Hayato most of the time, and it's going to be interesting to see how he rebounds in the junior league, especially without a unit and without any, like, really anyone to rely on. I am a little worried about the logistics of Yuma Aoyagi having both sets of tag titles with two different partners. Not sure how that's going to work. You said that you would have liked to see Anzai and Hayato drop the titles to Honda and Ayabe. We don't even know if Honda and Ayabe are sticking together at this point.
Yeah.
Please God, bring my family back together. But if they are, I think they should probably be just dethroning Yuma and Kento instead. I don't know. That's, again, because we don't know what's going to happen next month. I have a lot of thoughts. Oh, but yeah, great. But the match was great. These guys have great chemistry. Atsuki and Hayato, always amazing together in the ring. The Yumas, always amazing together in the ring. Hayato looked like a superstar even in defeat, just like taking all that punishment. And if, again, this is just my speculation, but if this was something that was decided kind of like last minute, I think they really, really, really made the most out of it.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, and this is a totally petty comment, petty gripe from me, I really hate the Aoyagi Brothers theme mashup. It's so aggressive to my ears. Please stop. But that's about it. Yeah, I did enjoy the match a lot. I think there was a lot of really high emotions from the champions, especially. And then I appreciate that it means a lot for Yuma and Atsuki to have these titles together, which is why I kind of hope that this is the reign of Yumas that keeps going, and then the World Tag Team titles they drop soon enough, I guess. But yeah, we'll see about the logistics of all that.
Did you have a favorite defense that they did?
Oh man, I really, really liked both, like you said, Kento and Inoue. I think they defended against them twice, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
But I think the first one was probably the best.
The one at Yoyogi is my favorite.
Because there was one on like December 31st of like 2024. Where's
Yeah,
my
that was
list?
the Yoyogi one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another one right after. No, I really like the astronauts defense.
Yes, that was good.
Because I really like the astronauts in general. I think they had, again, great chemistry together. And even though it was a little sloppy in places, I think they also did great against the Euro team. Like, I don't know, I think it was fun to see like someone from my turf in such a big spot. Like, I'm seeing, hopefully he doesn't get pulled by the powers that be, but I think I'm seeing Ed LeBlanc wrestle at a like drag and wrestling show in 2 weeks, which is really funny to think that he wrestled in like those huge arenas in Japan, and now I'm gonna go see him in like a club in Paris, intercut with drag performances. It's gonna be great.
That's cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
One thing I would like, two last comments I have about this match is because they were in KBS Hall, it was only one camera, so they'd focus on like these two guys on the outside, and then you hear this bang, and the camera just swings to the other two guys, and like the thing's already happened. Just keep it on like the guys you're looking at. I do love KBS Hall. It's really beautiful. Like I just
Beautiful.
wished
Beautiful.
this match was maybe in Korakuen with commentary, and they had someone
Yeah.
like Kento or Honda on comms because they go crazy and they add to the match. So like this match was great, but I think having commentary could have elevated it just a little bit more.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, so actually a show at Korakuen was day 4. Asuka Yagi, Rei Saito, and Takuya Nomura defeated Musashi, Shota Fuji, and Dave Boy Smith Jr. in 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Fuminori Abe, Hikaru Sato, Segi Tochibana, Yuka Miyamoto, and Kengo Mashimo defeated Dan Tamura, Rii Inoue, Shota Ishino, Sawama, and Zion in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Yuma Anzai, Riki Honda, Ranayabe, and Rising Haito defeated Hokuto More, Kuma Arashi, Takashi, and Talos in 11 minutes and 29 seconds. In the junior heavyweight title match, Seki Yoshioka defeated Naruki Doi in 15 minutes and 40 seconds. In the World Tag Team title match, Kenta Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi defeated Madoka Kikuta and Kei in 60 minutes and 44 seconds. And in the triple round title match, Jun Saito defeated Hideki Suzuki in 20 minutes and 52 seconds. I will throw it to you, but quickly, just before I forget, because I forgot to put it in my notes. Shota Kavuchi is wearing green wrist tape, like, on his wrist for Tashi Nagao. It's really, really sweet, and all the fans are really appreciative of it. So, thumbs up for that.
Because they did have that match at the Champion Carnival finals, right?
Yeah.
Well, that did end up being Nagao's first victory, like, on his own. And I think Kofuji tweeted something along the lines of, like, you definitely have to come back so I can get my revenge or something like that. And, like, I really, really hope that these two get to do the dance again. Yeah, it was really sweet.
So start it off where you want to begin.
I think these people are going to turn Suwama into a serial killer. They are really testing his limits at this point. He was so mad. He was so mad after that match, and even Dan on Twitter was like, "Man, get a hold of yourself." But yeah, it was funny. I know people dislike the Bakano Chidai thing. Suwama chief among them. Unfortunately, I really like it. First of all, they have a killer theme song and one of the most bizarre yet incredible lineup of people in the unit. Always happy to see Mashimo. Great wrestler. Loved him in the CC. Love to see him again. Always happy to see guys like Miyamoto. Always happy to see Abe. But yeah, funny match. Will it be of any consequences? I don't know. But Suwama, my man, do something. I don't know.
He's just like such an angry, grumpy guy the whole time I've been watching him. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting too old for this. He was having fun, with his girls in Evolution, and then they called him back for this, and he's just like, bruh, what? But yeah. And then we had what turned out to be the last match of Elpida. Why would you do this to me? I think it's funny because Ayabe pinned Kuma Arashi, right? And so they're not. I think they're definitely going to run a singles with Talos probably at some point. Like they have to at this point because this is like the novelty of like, look at these massive men. But yeah, I don't know. I've honestly liked Ayabe Old Tour. I think he's getting a lot meaner, and I think it's a great look on him. He spent like his first like 6 to 8 months in All Japan getting more confident and like changing from being this kind of like beanstalk of a boy who didn't really know what to do with all those limbs to like really growing into his own body and like knowing how to use it better. And now he's getting really mean, and I love it. And I love it, and I want to see more.
100% agree. Yeah, I caught the end of this match when I first started watching the show, and Ayabe was talking. I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And then like he just walked out, then Honda, and then I start checking like, online on Twitter and stuff, and I'm just like, what? Like, no, you can't do this.
Absolute scenes. And again, I don't think that this would have happened, or at least I don't think it would have happened so abruptly if Anzai wasn't going off on whatever adventures. And I'm not like blaming him or anything. Like, you're 25 years old, 26 years old. You've been put into an incredibly high pressure position, basically the past 14 months, going from Triple Crown champion to All Asia champion, just doing everything, all of it. Like, I get that you need a break, but man, give me more than 3 days notice. Like, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, no, I get the reasoning that Elpida was supposed to be kind of like a more of a stepping stone for each of them to go off and like do their thing and like to their own futures. These are all guys that are under 30. They, 2 of them have yet to achieve singles titles in All Japan. Like, I get it, but also I'm sad.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do if I don't get my daily dose of Honda Abe selfies?
Yeah.
This world is already miserable enough as it is.
We'll talk about it later, but Honda's already gone back to his old ways of being a sweet thief. Like,
and he has no one to control and channelize that energy. This is not going to end well. Anyway, sadness in my life. Thankfully, the juniors are here once again to cheer me up. Yeah, I love the junior title match. Just Seiki going 3 for 3 in the span of 4 weeks. Just, oh my god, I love him. Another very different match, because another very different opponent in Naruki Doi. Extremely experienced, the worst man alive. I love him, but he is the worst man alive. I think it was great. Seiki did some things that makes me think that maybe he's already gotten into Muto's stash of stem cells. Because you need to, like, he did his, like, Cabrata and landed, like, his knee right on the barricade. I was like, man, you only got 2 of those. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I liked that he had an answer for all of the traits that Doi pulls. And again, as a longtime Dragon Gate fan, I just love to see Naruki Doi suffer. So yeah, I really liked it. Honestly, like, for me, this was the 3rd time in a row that the junior heavyweight title match stole the show. Not that I didn't enjoy the other matches, but they've just been so good, and Seiki has just been, like, delivering on another level since when, like, from the match where he won the belt to his first defense against Dan, the second one against Doi, like, he's on a beautiful, beautiful run right now.
yeah, I was kind of sad when Musashi lost the belt, but like we're getting these matches from Seke as a champion. Like, I'm all for it. They've been great.
I think he's really, he has this kind of vibe of like pushing everybody to their limits. And Musashi's great. He's a great wrestler. I really, really like him, and I hope that he makes his way back to the belt eventually. But I think heading into something like a junior tournament, it's good to have someone like Seiki who is like not going to let anyone be anything but their best selves.
Yes.
I think he's a great motivator, which is what we need.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Mm.
I'm just gonna go to the tag match. For a while, I was wondering why Yuma was putting Kento's hair on the line, saying like, if he loses, Kento will shave his hair. It took me a while, but like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe look at who they're facing. They're facing 2 guys from Dragon Gate, and I feel like there's a lot of head shaving over there. Like, please correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah. Well, yeah, because Kikuta turned heel in Dragon Gate in like the middle of the championship.
Yeah.
And he did turn heel in a hair versus hair match where he like forced his former like stablemate to shave his head, blah blah blah. So that's probably where that came from. When really the one that should be getting his head shaved is Kikuta himself, because I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't like it.
Yes.
It is bad. It is very bad. It's so annoying because he used to have this really cute, like, slicked Astro Boy side part that looked really cute on him, but now he's a heel, so he has to have terrible hair or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the match was fine. Definitely fun to see Kai back in All Japan, even in this capacity. But again, kind of the thing is that when you watch Dragon Gate on the regular and you watch this, like, the unit that they're in, which is called Zebrats on the regular, the shenanigans get so done after a while. So yeah, I definitely liked the parts where they were actually wrestling the most. because Kiku's a great wrestler, great powerhouse. Kai, I like you.
Yeah.
I'm not as much a fan of Kai as as other people.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's been a great hand in Dragon Gate. He's kind of has like a gaggle of kids that he takes care of, but well, take care of is probably an overstatement. But yeah, no, I really liked it. Again, Yuma and Kento. It's Yuma and Kento.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with him.
It's funny because I keep seeing people be like, "Oh, Yuma Aoyagi is so bad now. He's like dragging Kento down with him." And I'm like, but where though?
Yeah.
Where in which one is this happening? Because it's not the one that I'm watching.
I hate that. One thing I loved is Yuma's like shaver. I've never seen a shaver look like that before. I thought it looked like kind of like a medieval torture device. It was just so weird. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it was great. He was very happy. He was so happy with himself.
Yeah.
But
And,
yeah,
like,
I liked it. Yeah.
Kento was in
Sorry.
like a headlock in the match, and like he's trying to get out, and Yuma's like holding up the shaver, like you're getting your head shaved if you don't get out of this lock, and Kento like powered out of it.
They have such incredible ways of motivating each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, who doesn't love motivating your tag team partner to get up by repeatedly slapping him on the butt?
Yeah, that's in my notes as well. I said, are you really a tag team if you don't hit your partner on the butt over and over again to get him back on his feet?
Exactly. I like it. You just need to, it's Kento. You need to give him that little boost, and then he goes into Kento mode, the reddest man alive, the Red Hulk, if you will. And he's great. And, it's Kento. I think, and I say this with so much love in my heart because it's Kento and I love him. When you watch a Kento match, I think you kind of know what you're getting into. But because I love it and I will never get tired of it, I was just like, yeah, get him. And again, it's just nice to see Z-Rats taking a L when they're always like very dominant in Dragon Gate. I'm like, ha, you lost.
They had a ref bump in this match, and like I'm okay with ref bumps every now and then, but it was on Wada, and Wada's like 80 or something. Like, leave him alone. Like, don't bump into him.
I hate when they do this. Like, that's my grandpa. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Honestly, I think we need to like crowdfund some sort of vacation for the All Japan refs because I think Kambayashi is like this close to actually punching Honda in the face. I think it was which ref was it that just got like almost launched through the air by Talos during this show?
Oh, I think it was Yuya.
Yeah, I think so too. He looked terrified, the poor baby. But yeah, we need to send the refs on like a long vacation. Just have Takashi fill in,
Takashi was on commentary for this match, and he was talking to Kay, and Kay just told him like, "Shut up." That was really funny.
He does the shut up bit is funny. I think they actually like called Takashi the shut upper during the Champion Carnival, which is freaking hilarious. But yeah. It's actually it might be Kai who's in that Gaora title match at the Dragon Gate show. Now that I think about it. I'm not sure, but it might be. So we'll see what happens. It would be incredibly funny if Kai found his way through the Gaora title of all things, but
comes back to All Japan.
Yeah, with the Gaora belt, incredible. But yeah, no, it was a fine defense. Not my favorite so far for business tag, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next because the next challenge is Hokuto and Talos, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, and I hope I'm not putting a curse out into this world, but is it bad that I wouldn't be surprised if Hokuto and Talos won this match? Like, I don't want it to happen, but looking at All Japan booking patterns recently, it would not overly surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for it, though. Like, I think Hokuto is unfortunately gonna do as Hokuto does and lose. But yeah, I don't know.
Weren't they saying they're getting like a new belt design, or am I just like thinking crazy?
Well, the belts are kind of falling apart. So I think at this point it's more so that just put them in a museum and get a new one made.
Yeah.
before they're like broken beyond repair, because like the eagle emblem
Yeah.
on one of them is, like fully falling off at some point. But yeah, I mean, they're iconic. I get not really wanting to get rid of them for like the symbolism of it all, but I
You got to.
think it just kind of becomes a necessity. Like
Yeah.
you can't keep going like this. The straps are in like strips. The emblems are falling off. But yeah, we'll see. Again, not trying to put into like any energy into the universe, but I don't know, booking patterns, looking at stuff. I don't know. I'm just waiting for Honda Abe to say that it was all a prank and they're actually
Yeah.
staying together and taking those titles. Oh my goodness. But yeah, and then the Triple Crown match.
Mm. For
What did
me,
we think of that?
best match of
Yeah,
June's title reign, hands down.
I would be inclined to agree. I think for very different reasons, it would be either this one or the onside
Mm.
defense.
Yeah.
I really did like the onside defense a lot. But yeah, I mean, Hideki has this tendency to give a lot of people really good matches. I think a lot of people thought that I know a lot of people thought that his match against Anzai was the best defense of Anzai's reign as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly surprised that he lost, though.
Yes, yes, agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, because like I said, I definitely thought that the Ray match would be like the climactic moment of Jun's reign. Like he gets the Triple Crown, has a couple of defenses, goes into the Champion Carnival as the champion, and then has this like highly anticipated Triple Crown match against his brother. And then after that, he can drop the title. And I think Hideki would have been a good person to drop it to because he's someone who can, again, have great matches with a lot of people on the roster and that you could easily build up as like this really annoyingly but justifyingly cocky veteran for one of the, well, veteran. Well, no, he is a veteran compared to a lot of the roster. But, and like, build him up as that for someone to eventually beat him. But they didn't do that. And now we have truly terrifying prospects looking at us.
Yes.
I don't like where this is going. Okay, I'm praying that Yuma, because they're having this number one contenders match, basically, him and that guy, which I hope Yuma is winning. Hope that this is the revenge for last year, hopefully. Because first of all, no, and I don't understand what All Japan sees in that man other than his family name, but whatever. My fear, and this is just me, because inside of me there are two opposing forces. There is the force that knows that as much as I love Honda, I don't think he's ready for the Triple Crown. He has this match with June on the 21st of July, the Triple Crown match. I don't think he's ready for the Triple Crown. I think he still has a lot of growing to do. I think he still needs to learn to not take other people's things, especially not their sweets. Stop doing that. That was literally the reason why you got your ass beat in the world title match last year. So I don't think he's ready, and I keep thinking to myself that I don't think he's ready. And yet there is also another part of my brain that is basically just a monkey going, Honda Triple Crown! With it's very like reason and logic versus my emotions, right? But the thing is, I don't want him to win this specific match because the mere possibility of him not only having to defend but possibly lose to that man is honestly enough to make me want to commit a felony.
Yes.
Like, I think if I have to watch that with my eyeballs, I will just maybe stop watching All Japan for the time being. Because it was already insulting enough that they made him go through. Honestly, I can barely even call it a match that he had with EC3 last year.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
Oh my, God loves him. He tried his best. But it was like I was sitting there watching it like I need this to end now
Yeah.
for everyone's health and safety. But whatever. This was way before he started getting any kind of like big push towards the Triple Crown. This was, even before Elpida, everything, whatever. But just the mere possibility, however small, that he might lose, like win the Triple Crown and then lose it in what would be his first defense to that man is so terrifying that I just don't want him to win it at all. No. First of all, reason tells me that he's not ready. Second of all, emotion tells me no. But anyway, back to Hideki and Jun. Sorry for the crazy tangent. Great match. Very surprised Hideki didn't win. Especially after the way that Ray nearly assassinated him at the Champion Carnival finals.
Oh, God, yeah.
You would think that he would have a bit more of a reason to go hard. But I think, interestingly, it was kind of Hideki's cockiness that cost him the match. Because I think, if I remember correctly, at some point, he's got Jun in a sleeper and lets go of the sleeper to go for the pin, which is maybe one of the stupidest things you can do. And I don't understand why Hideki Suzuki, of all people, in character, would do something like this, aside from cockiness, misplaced cockiness. But yeah, at least it gave Jun a really, really, really solid title defense.
Yeah.
Does he drop to Honda? I don't know. Does he drop to, hopefully, Yuma winning? Because no. Not unless Yuma drops at least one set of tag team titles, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is also confusing. But I really did like the match. I think great way to close off a show that I think had people a little bit reeling after the first part of it, of what's gonna happen to Elpida? But again, the one thing that I do kind of fear is that All Japan fall into an over-reliance on the Saitos instead of actually working with the people that they've been building up. And again, this is just me being kind of a pessimist by nature, unfortunately, but I don't know. I don't know how this ends at this point. At least it's keeping me guessing. It's unpredictable.
Well, you had a lot of good points. I just want to quickly go over the match. I thought it was a very Hideki Suzuki match, and Jun had to struggle a bit to catch up to him, which I thought was great. It was great watching this big guy in Jun struggle to actually get any offense in. He was literally fighting for his life in the corner at times. And then they started slapping each other and headbutts. I'm holy shit, this is great.
Yeah, because Hideki does this a lot where he'll crowd you in the corner and just start laying into you, especially the midsection, just completely trying to break you in half, basically. But it's interesting. I always love matches that are built around one guy being more cerebral and the other being more just going for it, full speed ahead, which I think this was very much that. And it really, I liked to see a guy like Jun being kind of backed into a corner and having to really dig deep. So yeah, I really appreciate those aspects. Really appreciated those aspects of the match as well.
Yeah, I thought the way they built it up from starting out slow to just keep going to the end, in the last 5 minutes were great. It was really, really good. And the fact is it's only 20 minutes. And that's kind of short for a Triple Crown match.
The finish kind of came almost out of nowhere a little bit. I liked it. But yeah, it was short. I think, honestly, it's probably for the best because I think the Saitos thrive in matches that are shorter, where they don't really overextend themselves. Because again, they are big guys. They use up a lot of energy. So, but yeah, it was really interesting. It was really well built. And Hideki fell victim to his own hubris, which I think is a really logical beat, story beat for him to be going through.
Yeah. I do like Jun's finisher, just the speed he gets with it and just how it connects. I think it looks really, really cool. So I am a fan of that. The bit after the match, when WA walked out, I turned it off straight away. And then a second later, I get a message from Rachel that just says Yuma. I'm just what? So I turn it back on. Yuma's there. They're gonna have a number one contenders match, like we said. But my favorite thing was Honda. He has sweets and he kind of shuffles out, like, tiny little baby steps. He gets in the ring, he gets a sweet, gives it to June, and before June can grab it, he like snatches it away, eats it. And the camera just lingers on June's face and it's perfect.
So it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was genuinely a roller coaster of emotions, basically exactly as you described. Because like that guy comes out, I didn't turn it off, but I did lower the sound because I hate the sound of his voice and everything else about him. But I did catch him saying something along the lines of like, this belt belongs to me, the guy who held it for 1 month and had 0 defenses and was literally horrible the whole way through. And then Yuma comes out. My Japanese is very basic, so I didn't catch like the intricacies of what was said, but I did kind of understand that there was going to be this number one contenders match. And then Honda, obviously, being Honda, coming out with those look delicious, by the way. I don't know what they were. Financiers, maybe? I don't know. But just, falling immediately the second you take away any supervision that he had, immediately falls back into his old habits. Just a being of pure chaos and hubris. Just really good at physical comedy, obviously. But yeah, it was really funny. And June was so unamused with everything that he was doing. And Ray at commentary was laughing his ass off. It was great. Definitely, yeah. Definitely sweetened the blow of what happened before.
Yeah.
For me. But yeah, interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, which I could be because I'm terrible with dates, I think this match for Honda comes almost a year to the day after his and Anzai's Triple Crown match. I think it was July 20th of last year.
You should know it was my favorite match, like from last year. But it was after Anzai defeated Hideki. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was around this time.
It was. I'm literally pulling up my own article that I wrote about the brain so I can get the dates. Because Suwama was on July 13th, and then Honda was on July 20th. So yeah, it's almost exactly a year to the day. So it's going to be really interesting to see how, like for me, how much Honda has grown, and also how much he apparently hasn't grown. But yeah, I'm nervous sighted.
Yeah.
This is what I like to call this emotion that I'm feeling. Nervous sighted is definitely because it's in Ideon Arena in Osaka, which usually has pretty big shows.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Again, I just don't want Honda to win and then lose in his first defense, regardless. Like it would be worse if he lost it to that guy. But also I could definitely see them like having him lose to Yuma after beating Yuma so many times.
No, I want Honda to continue his streak against Yuma. I want Yuma to struggle to beat Honda.
Yeah, I think it would be incredibly funny if Honda just like always had his number no matter what.
Dance over his body.
And also, yeah, exactly. And also it just makes the power dynamic so interesting because Honda and Anzai are pretty evenly matched. But then Anzai can't beat Aoyagi, and Aoyagi can't beat Honda. And then Honda kind of can't beat Kento sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm trying to not get my hopes up. Oh my god.
I feel you.
Yeah.
This was me for every Yuma Aoyagi title match. I was freaking out, like, oh, he's gonna lose, I can't watch it. And then the day he finally won was like the best day. So I hope that for Honda. It took Yuma 6 tries to finally win the Triple Crown. So
I'm not sure how many. I don't know how many Honda is on right now. Maybe like 3, maybe.
He did that one when he first broke out the rookie stage against Kento. Anzai.
Yeah.
Did he say?
No, he challenged Yuma Aoyagi during Yuma's first reign. Let's see. Triple Crown. Help me, cage match. Help me. Tournament final match. Yeah. Kento beats Honda. Yeah, okay. So he's had 3 tries counting that Triple Crown tournament from 2022. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's so easy to forget that he's such a baby. He was born in the year 2000, which
Oh
shouldn't
God.
even like this should be illegal, forbidden.
Yes.
No. But yeah, no, he's fine. Again, he's a guy that I'm more than happy to like wait for his time to come because he's got a lot of growing to do still, but also the monkey in my brain.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about any of that with day 5.
Oh, before we get to day 5, just one funny thing I noticed, like it's another video games reference, but like June, his moves are a lot of video games beginning with D. So DayZ, Days Gone, Doom, of course. Like, I think, if he's listening, because why aren't you listening, June? Just keep going. Like, probably like arguably the most famous game beginning with D, Dark Souls, he could do, Destiny,
Yeah,
Dead Space. But if he isn't a coward, he should name one of his moves Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator.
agreed.
Yes.
Agreed. Oh my, this just brought up so many memories. So many memories of that game.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Honestly, I'm gonna say there's probably a non-zero amount of people who would like to call him daddy.
Yeah.
So go for it. Absolutely. Approved. Agreed. Co-signed.
I mean, why not? The game's pretty good. I played it before, so
I did. I did play it. I really liked it.
okay, so now we're going to move on to day 5. So this was the Hokuto army versus Baka no Jidai. It was just these two. I think they were calling it like Ragnarok. So like very like Norse mythology coded. They
Yeah, the
had
posters is so dramatic.
it's just yeah. Like look at the poster if you haven't seen the poster for this. So we had Talos defeated Seiga Tachibana in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Furuno Abe and Hikaru Sato defeated Izawa number 1 and Jack Kennedy in 12 minutes and 11 seconds. Hideki Suzuki, Yuka Miyamoto, and Kengo Mashimo defeated Aja Kong, Kuma Arashi, and Takashi in 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Yumo Yagi versus Hokuto Mori went to a no contest at 15 minutes and 36 seconds. So they had like a surprise battle royale to end the show. And of course, the only winner you could have is Aja Kong defeated everybody else, including the referees, in 13 minutes and 36 seconds.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
It was beautiful. I mean, I was gonna say I love Aja Kong, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Honestly, it was like a pro elitist's worst nightmare, but my biggest dream.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was just fun, sometimes, especially after like the month that we've had with like going straight from like Champion Carnival in May to so many title matches in June. I think it's fun to end the month with something like with some levity
Yeah.
and some fun and some Seido Tachibana getting murdered,
Yeah.
which is way too common of an occurrence for him. Are you okay? But yeah, no, Talos just did what Talos does.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to say about it. Tachibana putting a valiant effort, and then at the end he lost in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which was probably what everybody was expecting.
It was longer than the Suwama match. Got to give him that. It was like less than a minute.
Oh my gosh. You'll get him next time. I believe in you. But yeah, no, Fuminori Abe once again showing up, being great. I do have to shout out, which I should probably wait actually till the end to shout out Aizawa number 1 in a specific category, but I always love to see him because he had like pretty big health issues last year, I think.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to see him like be here and be healthy and like have fun and like Always like to see Jack Kennedy as well. Just I really like Hokuto-gun. I think their bond is really sweet.
Yeah.
And I think we need more of that in wrestling, just guys loving each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like for the main event, like they all came out with like the hands on their shoulders. So like Hokuto was in front and then like behind him. I can't remember who was behind him, but yeah, they just came out in a line. Everyone had their hands on the shoulders. Yuma came out alone. Nobody came with him. He was looking around trying to find somebody, but no.
Nope. No one cares, girl. Sorry. Not even no one. No, just yeah, it was really, really funny. And then Aja was there. We
Yeah.
love Aja.
Yes.
Always she was just bonking everyone as she does. It was beautiful.
Even our own
Hideki
teammates.
yes, but that's the best part.
Yes.
That's the best. That's the best. I don't know if you want to go through like the specific matches, but there was one moment in the battle royale that I thought was equal parts hilarious and cute.
You
But
can
yeah,
start
if
on the battle
you
royale. No,
yeah,
please go ahead.
it was really funny. And there's like one moment where Aja is like going around just bonking everyone, and it's like Hokuto's turn. And right before he gets bonked, Hokuto does like the cutest little yay because he's like very, I don't know, honored, I guess, to get bonked by Ajakon, which we should all be. And then he goes down like a sack of potatoes, and it was great. I loved it.
I thought having a
And
surprise battle royale at the end was a really good way to end it. So everyone got back in the ring. Even like the still unnamed rookie got in. He got clotheslined by Takashi. So what happened is all the referees got thrown out and they got eliminated. Um, and then Takashi, who was eliminated first, went to the back and he came back out with a referee shirt that was like too tight for him, let's be honest. So he was a referee for the rest of the match.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure he fast counted at the end as well. Or at some point he fast counted in like obviously in favor of Hokuto-gun, which like it's fine.
Yeah.
It was really funny. Because I think they eliminated like the first ref was it Wada?
No, I don't think Wada was here. I think it was
No, I
Kambayashi
think
maybe? Oh, Yuya.
no Kambayashi because I remember thinking, oh my god, Diva down. Again, we need to crowdfund a vacation for this man. He goes through so much in the name of entertainment. But yeah, I think it was maybe I don't know. But yeah, maybe yeah. I don't know. But yeah, Takashi was the referee. Ajakon wins, obviously. Ajakon is canonically the strongest person in all Japan.
Yes.
Yes, obviously. What I love is that Tachibana gets his revenge from the opening match by eliminating Talos,
Yeah.
who I think for like safety reasons, because when you're that big, you probably have to think of things in a different way. Talos just like launches himself over the top rope.
Yes.
Just, like way above in the air. I was like, oh, you don't. I was like, first of all, I was like, maybe you don't need to do all that, but maybe you do need to do all that actually because you're so big.
Yeah. That was scary.
But
He went flying.
Yeah, because there's also not a lot of space between the ring and the audience. But yeah, Tachibana gets his revenge. Good for him. They did that whole like I hate calling it that, but it's really the only thing I can call it. They did the fucking human centipede spot, which was equal parts horrifying and hilarious. Hideki had a terrible time. likely thing for Hideki to be doing. But yeah, no, and Yuma and Hokuto right before that were having, a match, which went to a no contest when Hokuto-gun just like interfered. But Yuma being like all alone, all by myself, hilarious.
The thing I want to say about this match before we get to the end, because I think the end's very special. It deserves like a little segment. I know this isn't for everybody, believe me, like I know what fans are saying, fans in quotation marks. But the thing is, the All Japan fans who are there and online, like the Japanese side, they loved it. You could see their faces and they were laughing so much. They're having such a good time. And the thing is, it kind of reminds me of the match with Suji and Jun Kasai, where they had this one-off in Shinkiba. It was a death match. So like this is like that. It doesn't like really matter to the main or Japan where all the guys are there. You know, it's not going to interfere with that. It's just these two just going at it, you know, for what, two and a half hours, you know, just having fun. And it doesn't affect your life. So please just leave it and just
Yeah,
move on.
I mean, it's basically like I guess you could call it like non-canon almost. Like it's most likely not going to have any bearing on the booking going forward.
Yeah.
If anything, I think Arakon should probably be the next Triple Crown champion at this point. But no, but more seriously, it's almost like when you're watching like an anime or something and they do like a beach episode. And it's not really canon and it doesn't really have any bearing on the plot, but you're just having fun.
Yeah.
And everybody's having fun. And like Atakon is there. Again, I just love whenever she shows up anywhere. But especially in All Japan, because she's such a force and everybody's terrified of her and it's incredibly funny. Although one thing that I just she's like bonking everyone and then she goes to bonk Talos and she's like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny as well. Because you forget that she is quite a short person. Like she's not that tall. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was fun. It was breezy. I think after all, again, the emotion of like all the big title matches that we had this month, it's what we needed.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch it. You don't even have to acknowledge it. But like, again, I refuse to have people say this is the worst thing that happens to All Japan, considering who the Triple Crown champion was in December of 2024.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun. I like to see these guys have fun. I think it was still special for Hokuto and Yuma, and especially for Hokuto, because it was like a couple days before his birthday. It was like his own show, like his own people, his own unit. Because Hokuto's been through a lot.
Yes.
In the past year. You know, he's kind of had to take everything in stride and do whatever he can to keep himself relevant, and I think he's done a really good job of it. And yeah, I think he deserves to have these moments in the spotlight, which are really, they're not hurting anyone. They're just having fun. Plus, it gets us people like Yuko and Kendo Mashimo coming back and like participating, which is always fun. So yeah, that's my take on the whole thing.
Like what you said, like honestly, like in the end, it's just some fun that these guys are having. And you can see the wrestlers are having a blast too. Like one of my favorite bits was like Aja Kong hits Hideki Suzuki. He's on the ground, like lying flat on his back. And then she starts chasing after Yukimi Moto. And I think it was Hikaru Sato, like all the way to the back. And then the camera just pans down to Hideki. He's still on the ground, like basically out cold.
Hideki Suzuki and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah. That was that. But the most important part was like after all the wrestling. So all the wrestlers got in the ring from both groups. Yuma got everyone up in the crowd, and along with the wrestlers, they started chanting Taishin just over and over again. It was a really, really sweet moment, sending some love to Taishin after like his literally tragic accident. Like it was the perfect way to end the show, just showing love to this guy who everyone desperately wants to get better and to come back.
Yeah, and like Hideki got like legit choked up at some point talking about it, because I think they developed a really close relationship. You know, they're like always teasing each other on Twitter. Hideki calling him senpai, but also stealing his lunch money. But I think behind, like, obviously I don't know, I'm not there, but I think behind the scenes they probably developed a really close relationship as like mentor and mentee.
Yeah.
And Hideki was like, it was kind of almost like jarring in a way to see someone like Hideki get so openly emotional. But yeah, I mean, obviously you would when something this tragic happens. So I think it was really sweet. I think it was a nice, very emotional and like heartfelt call for Taishin. And I think we all like felt that same emotion in that moment. Like, I know I was chanting along with them in my living room, like, again, just really hoping that he gets better. And that he's able to come back one day, but mostly just hoping that he gets better and like he's able to live a life, you know? Like he's 20 years old. Like it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, very, very sweet of them to do.
Yeah, the two people on the mic are Hideki, who has been, like basically it seems like they're best friends, him and Taishin. They're
Yeah,
always together, always taking photos. And then Yuma, who's the coach of the dojo, like the two most important people in Taishin's wrestling life so far, making the call and getting everyone up and chanting his name was really, really sweet.
yeah. Yeah. It was and it's because again, Hideki was supposed to like start the month with a match against Taishin,
Yeah.
which I think that they were both very much looking forward to. Um, and I hope that Taishin gets to come back and kick his ass.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was 5 shows of wrestling.
That was a lot. It was a lot of playing, a lot of All Japan.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to notes. So we finally have a junior tournament announced. It begins on the 17th of July. It runs until the 3rd of August, where the finals will be held at Ottawa Ward. I think they said they're main eventing. I can't remember if that's true, but like fingers crossed because they deserve it.
They better be main eventing.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I will fight.
So as for the wrestlers, they're at 10 and they're split into 2 blocks. So block A, we have Ryzen Hayato, Rie Inoue, Hikaru Sato, Sega Tachibana, and Sega Yoshika. In block B, we have Musashi, Dan Tamura, Asuka Yagi, Fuminori Abe, and Naruki Doi. So it might be like a little early for prediction, but who do you have in the finals and who's winning?
So it's kind of hard because again, I'm always whenever it comes to doing predictions like this, I'm always divided between my brain and my heart.
Yes.
And so my brain kind of says that it's probably Atsuki or Hayato's tournament to take. Atsuki because, everybody was waiting for him to return. They were basically waiting for him to return to have this tournament in the first place. So, he's on a roll. He's got the All Asia tag titles. He is definitely, being positioned again as like a leading force in the division. But I also think that because Hayato's entire like last year, basically since losing the junior title, has been about him, like his desperation to prove himself. I would like to see him win. But also in my mind, I'm like, Dan should win the Junior League, and then he should win the Odo, and then he should win the Champion Carnival next year. So, But I think honestly, it's probably going to be, early prediction, I think it's probably going to be Atsuki or Hayato winning.
Yeah. When I saw they have them in different blocks, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to be in the finals.
Because again, this is, like you said, it's a rivalry. It's like a former-ish tag team. It's two guys that have been like linked for a very long time. So it just makes sense, They're
like Kento and Yuma. They always find their way back to each other in the end.
Exactly, yeah. The Aoyagis and their like weird homoerotic friendships. Love to see it. But yeah, very interested. Honestly, not too many surprises in the lineup. Again, always happy to see Fuminori Abe. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at Inoue very closely because I think he could like have a surprise run, or he could lose every single match. And it's kind of all or nothing for him at this point, with Atsuki really progressing and Hayato really progressing and Dan really progressing, and Inoue is just like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, Seiki going into the tournament. Did they say like explicitly that the winner gets a title shot?
Or does he just get? Did, but I think it's kind of,
yeah,
doesn't have to be said.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited. I think, like, again, I've said it. I think the juniors have really stolen basically the entire year so far for me. So very excited to see them being really, truly spotlighted and excited. They better be getting that main event, or I swear, Kento, I am not above fighting you. I swear. Maybe only 5'3", but I have a lot of rage.
And the thing is, like, if they do get the main event, like, I think the perfect pairing may be Asuki versus Hayato because they got the main event at Korakuen before, and like that's the first time in how many years has it since like the juniors main evented for the title? I forgot how many years, but it was a lot. So I do see it, but I'm looking forward to it. I love the juniors. I'm happy they get their own tournament. It doesn't have to run alongside a heavyweight tournament. They get their own spotlight.
Agreed.
I don't mind there's no surprises because these guys get along really well in the wrestling ring. That like they just mix so well. So I'm happy.
Absolutely.
So moving on to match of the month and wrestler of the month. So my match of the month was June versus Hideki, followed by Business Tag versus Havoc. I just thought this was a different match for June. He had to fight for it. Hideki looked brutal as ever. And I just love when, Hideki's trying to get out of the corner and he's like, no, I'm just going to keep slapping you. That was like perfect.
It was, yeah, very much so. Match, is it incredibly predictable if I say Seiki versus Dan?
No.
Is it Seiki versus Dan? I'm like, I already had Dan Tamura stocks from like way back, like getting back into All Japan, but they have skyrocketed this year. And I cannot, he's the wrestler in All Japan that I'm looking out for the most this year, even more than Honda. And yeah, this match, frigging just incredible. I loved it so bad. So bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So for wrestler of the month, I kind of want to give it to Ajacom, but I can't really. June, like 2 Triple Crown defenses, more to come. He really shined this month, and I think he just looks better and better in the ring. And his finisher looks cool as fuck. So yeah.
I do agree that he has improved leaps and bounds as the Triple Crown champion, which is also one of the reasons why the Onside defense is one of my faves, because I think that really shined through in that match. Am I allowed to have someone who's not signed as my wrestler of the month?
Yes, of course.
Because it's Seiki Yoshioka. Again, I'm very junior brained. I'm so sorry. But I think he's bringing so much fire, so much diversity to the juniors. Super excited to have him go into the junior league as the champion, as I said. Two great title defenses that were very different from each other. Yeah, huge fan. I'm not necessarily going to call for him to be signed because I think he's someone whose freedom is very important to him.
Yeah.
But I am very, very glad that we get to have him more.
Yeah.
Because he brings a lot, I think.
So this is usually where we end it, but we have something special. So it's the mid-year awards. We're going to start off with wrestler of the mid-year. So heavyweight. See, I feel like I'm predictable for this. It's Honda. For me, Ricky Honda is my heavyweight of the mid-year.
Same. Same.
Well, my junior heavyweight of the year is mid-year, is Musashi.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that Musashi has been... They've just all been on a roll. I think Musashi I love his wrestling. I love his energy. I love everything that he brings to the table. I think he's a truly invaluable signing for All Japan. Super happy that he's gonna be in it, hopefully for the long run. Yeah. June, yeah. I'll let you continue. Just had to.
Yeah, you had Musashi as well?
No, Dan.
Yeah.
The answer to every question is Dan.
Yeah.
Tag team of the year, Dan.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, I support the Musashi agenda, but it's Dan.
Yeah. And for tag team of the media, I have the heartbreak of Yuma Anzai versus Rising Haito, since they're no longer together.
I agree. I agree with you. I think pretty objectively, they have been the most effective and spotlighted and best tag team of the year. But I'm so mad at them.
Yeah.
I want to give it to Havoc just out of spite. I do like Havoc. I do like Havoc a lot, but I think they still have, to prove themselves way more than Anzai and Hayato, who have just had a great great, great reign. I think their chemistry is undeniable. And I really do hope that it's not the end of them.
Yeah.
Praying.
So we're going to matches of the media for heavyweight. This is so predictable for me. Yuma Anzai versus Ricky Honda. They had their match of the last year. They had my mid match of the this year. So who knows?
I just love these two. Again, when I did my big write-up about the Anzai reign last year, I spent a lot of time on this one because obviously I love Anzai, I love Honda, there is nothing I love more in wrestling than tag team partners and friends beating the shit out of
Yes.
it is the best thing that is going to come up immediately after this again. But yeah, Anzai and Honda, I absolutely loved everything they do together. But this match, especially, I will give a shout out, however, to the match that Ashino and Kendo Mashimo had in the Champion Carnival.
Yes, that was great.
Great, no nonsense, no bullshit. Just these two guys wrestling their style at their best, and I really, really liked it. Really, really liked it.
So Junior, for me, it can be no one else but like Musashi versus Seki Yoshioka. Yeah.
Exactly. There was really nothing else that came close this year so far. Unlike the wrestling was amazing, the emotional weight of it all was incredible. Everybody was fujoing out. It was great. But no, really, they went out. They had an incredible match with a great build. They really threw everything at each other. Seiki proving finally that he like has carved this place for himself in All Japan. And Musashi, again, I think it's not the end of Musashi and the junior title. I think he had a great reign. I love that they got to have this match because Musashi got sick. They had to postpone it. You know, it was kind of up in the air for a while, but then they had this match. They went out. They stole the show. It was incredible. There's so much to say. I feel like other people have probably waxed poetic about it in a much more eloquent way than I could, but like, what could you possibly dislike? Again, in a match about two tag team partners who fight each other and spend like 5 minutes of the match literally holding hands while also beating each other up. It was beautiful. They pulled out all the stops. They had a great match. Shuri Kondo, I think, was on commentary, if I remember correctly.
The perfect person on commentary, yeah.
Exactly. I just think it was not only was it one of the best matches of the year in All Japan, I think it was also, and this is something that really matters to me, one of the best built matches of the year.
Yeah.
So definitely agree with you on that one.
Just when they went like 30 seconds straight counter for counter, and then they went for a kick at the same time, that's where it ended, and then they just held hands and beat the shit out of each other. Like, and then they collapsed, still holding hands, and the camera was like lingering on their hand. It was a perfect shot.
It was so beautiful. Just everything about it was perfect.
So moving on to a match that's not so beautiful. Tag team match of the year. I went right back to January for this. So it was the Saito brothers versus Daisuke Sakamoto and Hideki Suzuki. I love that match. And I think it affects it because I was in attendance for that match and just my sister's next to me like cheering for June with their towel. And I think that's where like it really started for June and Ray. That's where like their year started when June's like, no, you can't face me. So like the match, you know, just how intense and brutal it was. And then that's where, you know, Ray's quest started for the Triple Crown.
So very, very significant and important match this year. Yeah, it's definitely a good pick. For me, does it have to be a title match?
No,
it doesn't have to be.
No.
Right? I'm going to be incredibly cliche, predictable, and also maybe piss off a couple of people, but the April Korakuen main event, the 10-man tag match, the cross-dressing match.
Yes.
My more serious answer would be Anzai and Hayato versus Astronauts. I think in terms of like in-ring work, that was just so incredibly tight and solid. And I think Nomura, again, Abe is there a lot in All Japan. I would love to see Nomura more. He's someone that I've always really, really loved. But you have to shout out the fact that these guys had an idea.
Yeah.
They stuck to it. They did it. Fans loved it. Like, there's one moment that really sticks out to me where it's like, so Ed LeBlanc apparently kind of went like into this match not really knowing what the hell was happening to him.
Okay.
They just like gave him a maid dress and they were like, let's go. But there's one moment where he does like a big dive and like lands right in front of the crowd and like looks up at the crowd that's like cheering for him, and you can see in his eyes how special that moment is for him. And at the end of the day, dress or no dress, is it not what wrestling is about? Like connecting.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, like people might think I'm joking, and maybe I am a little bit picking this match, but I think it was such like, not like, I don't know. I think it was really special. Guys like Ed got to be in the main event of Korakuen, make that connection with the crowd. Taishin was in the main event as well, which was great. Hokuto somehow got to wrangle his entire team into doing whatever he wanted, which was wonderful. Musashi wore a bra for some reason. I don't know.
You gotta mention Hayato. He looked fantastic.
Hayato looked so good. So good. I love that he went the extra mile of like adapting his makeup to what he's wearing. Like, that's an artiste. I'm sorry, he's an artiste. But yeah, no, my serious answer is Anzai and Hayato versus Astronauts, but my answer from my heart is that 10-man tag team match.
They're both valid.
Yeah, thank you.
So outside wrestler of the year, for me, it had to be Seki Yoshioka. No one's come close to him. Yeah.
No. Just, again, a net positive every time he's in the ring. He lights up. Obviously, we've talked at length about how great he's been as the champion, but he just lights up every match he's in. So yeah, agreed. Definitely has to be Seiki.
For a shocking moment, I went all the way back to January again. It was Anzai getting busted open and knocked out in his match with Ishino, because like that was so scary and like so shocking, obviously, since it's my shocking moment. That was crazy.
Yeah. And he had, like, I think he still has a little bit of a scar from that. Like,
his fringe is always covering it, I think.
Yeah. He's got his emo fringe. But yeah, no, that was kind of crazy in itself. Just really, I mean, it was crazy. It was scary. It's always hard for me to talk about these moments because they do look scary, but also they always make a match immediately so much cooler.
Yeah.
It's always like, I really hope this guy's okay, but also, holy shit, this looks really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's so weird that this was this year. Where did the time go? Where did the time go? For me, incredibly predictably, probably is the LPW breakup. Mostly because it really came out of nowhere. Like, what? And also why? I don't understand. My entire timeline was in shambles. People were crying. It was horrible. But yeah, maybe also it's a little bit of recency bias, probably. But yeah.
No, that was definitely shocking, and just like another faction breaking up. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. All my favorite factions have already broken up, and now this one. What do I have left? The Hokuto Army and the Idiot faction. No, I love those two factions.
Oh boy.
But so the most important award is the fashion moment. So this is inside or outside the ring. I think this year kind of is not as great as last year, because last year we had like Hokuto in his new outfit. We had Renayabe come out in his like pink hair and his coat, and that was so cool.
Purple Thunder.
So this one, I couldn't think really. But then I thought, okay, I have to give it to Ashino and Zion's face paint. And just them matching the intensity. And then like the next time they came out, it was like smoke effect. I'm just like, oh, I love this so much.
We love it, and they are clearly so happy with themselves.
Yeah.
you can't help but be happy for them. But yeah, so I have two. The first one is Hayato's schoolgirl
Mm.
outfit. Just it was perfect. It fits so well too. Like what the hell? The second is everything about Aizawa number one.
Mm.
Just it's a lot, but it's very much my kind of a lot. Like it's bordering on drag, and I love it. Like his outfit is so shiny and strappy and colorful, and he has like that beautiful half butterfly mask, and I love everything about it. Tens across the board.
There's like a million
It's
things to look
wonderful.
at when it comes out. I'm just like, where am I supposed to start? But it's good.
Mhm. Yeah, very, very good.
So there were media awards. So look out for the end of the awards in case some of these cross over. And I think maybe a couple of these matches will cross over to the end of the awards. Junior match. No, I'm not saying anything besides from that. But
Let's see.
once again, we have reached the end of another episode. Thank you all for listening and supporting Jumping Knee Pod. You can find me at Sister Jessie on Twitter and Bluesky and Royal Road 72 on Twitter. Jumping Knee Pod is also on Instagram. So, Milo, where can people find you?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter. My @ is a little bit long-winded. It's primasteras. I'm not gonna spell it out, but you can find me there if you want to. You probably don't. But you can also find me on Bluesky at heartling. I'm so like heartling, like earthling, but with hearts. I'm trying to post there more, trying to be more active. And I also write sometimes. I'm hoping to have something out soon. And that's about it. I try to be not so extra, but it's hard because it's baked into who I am.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining me. This was a long month, and especially
Yeah.
with media awards tacked on. So, but it was fun. It was really fun. It's always good to have like a first time guest and get their opinions.
Thank you. I hope I make a good impression on the listener base as well as the host.
Of course, 100%. But thank you for joining me. Thank you all once again for listening. I have been your host, Jessica, and I'll see you next time for more All Japan Pro Wrestling.
This has been a Countout Podcast.
Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'm the host of Jumping Knee Pod, a modern day All Japan podcast. Join me and a guest each month as we cover all that went down in the ring, outside of the ring, and everywhere else. Big title matches, tournaments, character arcs, storytelling, feuds, and more. It's all covered on Jumping Knee Pod. Look out for a bonus episode every once in a while, covering a variety of All Japan topics. So make sure you tune into Jumping Knee Pod. It's a new All Japan podcast for a new All Japan era.